Hello everyone, welcome to part 5 of our YouTube series on basics on options. Hope you've been enjoying the series so far. In the previous video, we took uh, an example of a put option with the illustration of a builder wanting to hedge his downside risk. In this video, we will take a more deep dive into what put options are. We will check out payout charts, we'll check out expiry scenarios and the nomenclature of put options. So by the end of this video, you should be well versed in both call as well as put options. We'll get on with it. We'll check out some of the expiry scenario for put options. So here's the scenario. The contract date or date of execution is the 26th of April. The expiry date is 1 month ahead of 30th of May, right? On the y-axis, you can see the share price. The spot price for stock X is 110 rupees, right? Here you execute a put option with 106 strike, okay, for 3 rupees premium and lot size is 7,000, okay. So essentially you are paying 21,000 rupees for it because 7,000 into 3 is 21,000 rupees. You are buying one lot of this put option. You are the buyer. Somebody is selling this option to you, right? So let's look at the strike is 106. Hope this is clear. Now let us check out first scenario where expiry is above the strike price, right? So expiry, you see this chart, this is how typically shares will behave, up, down, and finally it expired at 108.1. That is the expiry price. So it has expired above the strike price. Now we do know that for a put option to have intrinsic value, it should expire below the strike price. The intrinsic value of a put option is calculated by spot at expiry minus the strike price, right? It should be the inverse actually, strike price minus spot at expiry, right? So that is the intrinsic value of a put option. So this option has no intrinsic value because put only has value if it falls below. Call has value if it goes above, put has value if it falls below. So this option is worthless. Let's look at it. Intrinsic value at expiry is 0. So buyer loses all of his 21,000 rupees of premium and seller pockets all of the premium. Next scenario, we'll check out same spot 110, strike 106, one lot for 3 rupees or 21,000 premium paid. Expiry occurs at strike price. Here, intrinsic value of the option is 0 at expiry. Okay. So like the previous example, buyer stands to lose all of his 21,000 rupees worth of premium and seller gains all of the premium. We will take a next example. Okay. Here the expiry is happening at 103. Okay. So here as you can see, the intrinsic value is, there is intrinsic value to the put option. Why is it? Because it is expired below the strike price, right? What is the intrinsic value? It is strike price minus the spot at expiry. So 106 minus 103. 3 rupees is the intrinsic value of the option. But as an option buyer, you have paid 3 rupees premium to have this option. So although 3 rupees is what the seller owes you, because you have paid 3 rupees premium as well, so 3 minus 3 becomes 0, right? So you make no profit and the seller makes no loss. So this is the break even point for this particular option. So the break even point of a put option is very simply put, the strike price minus the premium paid is the break even point. So 106 minus 3, 103 is the premium paid. So for you as a buyer to make money out of this put option, the underlying stock X on the expiry has to be below 103. Okay, anything below 103 is good for you, is bad for the seller. So finally, let us check out a scenario where expiry happens below break-even point. Break-even point, as we have seen, is 103. So in this example, expiry happens at 101. Calculating intrinsic value of the put option, 106 minus 101, it is 5. The premium paid for the put option is 3. So the net profit is 5 minus 3, that is 2. 2 times 7,000 is 14,000 rupees. So the buyer of the put option will make 14,000 and the seller will lose the same amount of 14,000. So it's very clear that the buyer and the seller are completely connected in a trade, whether it is a call option or a put option. What the buyer gains, the seller loses, right? It's always the case. There is a break-even point where nobody makes any money, okay? And I've also shown you how to calculate that break-even point. Let us now look at the payoff chart for the put option. So if you guys will remember the call option, the payoff chart for a put buyer or a put long is nothing but it is flipped vertically, right? So more money starts being made when the share price ends below the break-even point of 103. The further it falls, the more your profit, right? I think that's very clear. And you can see that the max loss is the premium paid, and anything above the strike price, the max loss starts happening. So 106 is your strike price, anything above that your max loss happens. Why 106 is the max loss? Because option starts getting intrinsic value above this point. So if we take an example of say expiry at 104, intrinsic value of the option will be 2 rupees, but you have paid 3 rupees premium, correct? So at 104 you will lose 7,000 rupees, as you can see here, corresponding 7,000 rupees you will lose. I think this is quite clear. Let us look at some of the simple formulae to remember. You don't have to remember, understand the concept. These formulae don't need to be remembered. I'm sure you guys have understood it, but still let's take a look. Total option value at expiry is strike price of option minus share price at expiry or spot price at expiry. Again, profit criteria is that total option value should be greater than the premium paid, right? At total intrinsic value of the option should be greater than the premium paid. Total profit is nothing but lot size into total option value. Break even price is strike price plus the premium paid. In this case, it is wrong. It should be strike price minus the premium paid. That will be the break even point. Max loss is equal to the premium paid for a buyer, and max profit is infinite for the buyer. So put buyers are essentially making money when underlying falls. Put buying is a bearish trade. You are expecting the market to fall. Now let us look at the same scenario from a put option seller's perspective. As you can see, this is nothing but the put buyer's chart flipped horizontally, correct? So if you flip the chart horizontally, that's how it will look for the option seller, right? So as we can see, the option seller has a limited profit potential, and that is equal to the premium that he or she receives, and the loss potential is infinite. So in the case of an option seller, he doesn't want the price of the option to fall below the break-even point, right? Because in that case he starts making a loss, and anything above 106 expiry, full money is being made by the option seller. Hope this is clear. So sellers expect the market to stay flat or to go up. Finally, we will look at the nomenclature for put options. If you guys will remember, call options, put options also have very similar nomenclatures with only one difference. Instead of C, the alphabet P is here, PE. Okay, so put option is represented such as RIL is Reliance, May is the month, May expiry month. Typically also the year will follow. So like May 21 or 21 May is 2021 May, right? 2000 is the strike price, and PE means put option. It means that this particular option at expiry will have intrinsic value only if it expires below 2000, right? Plus 250 means you are buying one lot. Buying also is called as going long, okay? And selling will be minus 250. That will means you're selling one lot, and selling also is known as going short, right? So if you're selling one lot of Reliance, you can say I am shorting one lot May 2000 strike price for Reliance put option, right? Or you can also say selling, you're shorting, or writing. All of the three things mean the same. Buying or going long, right, means you're taking up a call option. Is this clear? Right. So with this we conclude basics of call options and put options. There are some more technical terms about options that you need to understand to be able to be a little more fluent in it. We will take those in the next videos to come. Hope you guys have gotten a fair understanding through simple examples about call options and put options. Leave your questions in the comment below. We will try to address them. Make sure to hit like. Please subscribe to our channel. Share the video if possible. Thank you very much for watching.